What's up fam, Rahim here, and I am at Fort Road. There is this very interesting kite that I'm interested in filming, and I hope maybe I'll talk to the guys over there and let's see whether they allow me to fly around that thing. Looks cool. I fly drones, so I'm interested to fly around this object. So just ask permission first. This, okay, so
very nice man. 1 hour $90.
Alright fam, just a quick one before I send it. You guys have seen me fly this drone indoors, but that's because I have not registered it. But today it's registered, and so this time I'm going to test it out in the open in manual mode. I do not have the stock rates on because I just think they are unflyable, alright? So I have changed to my own rates. You can watch those episodes of my rates and also the indoor flight at the end of this episode. There will be filters for the DJI Avata that I'll be testing out, so do hit the notification bell so you don't miss that episode. And so I only got one bet for this, so it's going to be a run and gun session. I'll catch you back in the studio and I'll give my opinions about this drone out in the open. So I was talking to Sean, the owner of this kite here. Check out what I missed. Walao eh. Now I know battery already. They gave me an idea. Maybe I should go and charge and come back. Anyways, this guy Sean, right? He gave me the chance to film his awesome kite over there. Hopefully bro, we have another opportunity. We can meet again, especially all your kakis here. Those big octopus kites. Maybe we can go and fly again soon. You should go and try the drone also. Right? So anyways, appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you. Alright, so I'm gonna wrap it up. I'll see you back in the studio. Alright guys, let's just get straight into the DVR footage. Now right here, what you see is the goggles view with the on-screen display. Now there's no need for any special setting here because this footage is actually taken off the memory card of the goggles and already has this data baked in. Now I'm in the ultra wide field of view and there's no stabilization involved, so that right now I can see how the drone actually handles the windy conditions. Now the drone is getting some tailwind, carrying the drone in a smooth forward flight, barely any jitters. I'd say that DJI did a good job of tuning the drone's characteristics. So now having made a turn, here's where I noticed some issues in flight. By the way, sad to see that there is this tick error alarm in the right bottom side of the screen, right? Because it's caused by me loosening the sticks for manual mode flight, and this is the same issue that haunted the DJI FPV. I wish they had solved that. Now the drone is having quite a struggle to fight the wind. I was more than like 60% throttle as long as I was facing the wind. Now I'm in manual mode. These are my own personal rates. Setting rates is about how the drone translates your stick inputs and nothing about how the drone actually handles flight conditions. That's something called PITs. It's a totally separate issue that we can't tune. Right? You can learn more about my rates in my rates episode. Now here is where something interesting happened. The drone went to failsafe and went back to normal mode. It prompted that I was in an altitude limit zone. I actually set my limits at 60 meters and the failsafe kicked in at 50 meters. So here's where I'm not sure, is it a buffer given or just coincidence that I was actually having range issues? We'll need to test it out in further episodes. So here's where I'm going around the subject and finding it very hard to keep consistent speed as the drone lacks that power to fight the wind. It's not that it doesn't have power. I probably could have used more throttle, but it just lacks that throttle authority that a bigger drone would have. We'll talk about this point a bit more. Now about the view in the goggles, yep, I'm impressed that I can actually see the strings of the kite. Of course, I'm guessing that These strings are not as thin as your t-shirt threads, and definitely should have a comparison with the low resolution of the FPV Goggles V2. But for what it is, the clarity of digital is very obvious here. I'm not saying that digital is all perfect also. That will be a topic for a separate episode. So anyways, I wrapped up this flight early to change settings for a camera settings episode that's coming up. I'm landing it in manual mode, but know that you could always switch it back to normal or sport mode. So if there was one word that I'd use to describe how the DJI Avata flew outdoors, that'd be smooth. And it's not because I was using my own personal rates, but it's just that the drone handled the windy conditions quite well. When I reviewed the unstabilized footage of the drone, I didn't see any major oscillations or any twitching from the drone. Now that is of course I was flying it smoothly. Now if you were to inject some freestyle or any aggressive flying, now that runs a risk of prop wash, and that will definitely cause some oscillations. So now let's talk about the throttle authority I mentioned earlier about this drone. Now remember that this is a small drone. It was never meant to fight heavy winds out in the open. So what that means is that yes, I mentioned that I could just give it more throttle, but that is quite a far throw, meaning on the sticks I'd have to push it quite far just to get it to bite. Alright, so versus flying it in the DJI FPV, now clearly this is a bigger drone, more thrust, more power. If I just needed to react and fight the wind, now just a bit of throttle and I'd be on my way, right? So that was just the thing that I feel this DJI Avata did not have. So maybe what could have solved it could be just a different kind of throttle rates. Now too bad you have rates for everything else but the throttle. Maybe if you gave the user some choice to add some expo to the throttle, or maybe presets, like for example maybe in indoors you'd have a softer throttle rates versus if you were in the outdoors, knowing that it could be windy conditions, you'd have a different kind of throttle response. So yeah, presets would be also a nice addition. Well, that was just a quick opinion about the DJI Avata, just my first impressions. I definitely need to spend more time up in the skies with this guy, then I can give a better review about it. But right now, let me just get your opinion. Now leave me a comment, what do you think about this drone, and also let me know what more you want to know about this drone, then I'll cover that in the comprehensive review episode. And so right now, I'm gonna leave you to it and wrap up this episode. Now if you've liked this video, do give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not already, chat with me, I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Pilots, as always, I'll see you in the skies. Peace.